There we go. Now I'm recording. So, as I mentioned, just to back up a little bit, Schools PLP is 100% curriculum. Students will learn at their own pace. They'll check in with teachers on a weekly basis. Parents and families do serve as a key supporter of the student learning. In this situation, parents are very, very important, making sure that students have a place to work, that they're completing assignments, in their schedule, and that they have the support that they need. And if they don't, what support the district can provide to you to help that student. So the district does provide a device for you. Kindergarten through 8th grade all receive an iPad. If you've been a North Kansas City student in the past, then you're well aware that students all receive an iPad. You will receive that iPad based on your home school's handout schedule. So wherever your home school is, whether you're Fox Hill, Nashua, Maple Park, whenever you get communication, you will receive communication around when iPads are being handed out, and you will receive your iPad at that point in time. So you will have to go to the school to pick up your iPad, because you'll have to actually log into the device while it's on the North Kansas City School District network. So and then this is a semester commitment. We are asking parents to commit to a semester this year, because with staffing, we need to make sure that our staffing is consistent and regulated. So we will be sending out communication in December asking virtual parents if they would like to come back in person for second semester, and second semester starts January 18th. So in December sometime, you will get communication about whether you would like to return to in-person or continue virtual. I did see a question pop up that says, can we use our own device? And that absolutely you can use your own device. If you have a laptop at home, Schools PLP is web-based. It works on almost any device. So you can absolutely use your own device. If you have an iPad or a Android device, you can use those as well. But you can use literally any device. Just to give you a sample schedule, here is just what I would suggest, kind of a sample schedule for parents. And what I've always told parents is you do ELA, math, science, and social studies four times a week. And you can see there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 lessons of ELA, math, science, and social studies. Friday, I've always told parents to use that as kind of either a catch-up day or a work-ahead day, because we know with kids being at home, you're going to have times when you have doctor's appointments and things like that, and maybe a student doesn't feel like working on Wednesday, and they could use Friday instead of Wednesday for that week. And then you'll also see 1 lesson of PE, art, and music. And I just put them in there on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Your schedule can be whatever you want it to be, but this is just a sample that I kind of share with parents as a way to plan out their day or plan out their weeks. The other suggestion that I would give you is, once you get into Schools PLP, is to really look at how many lessons there are. So let's say in science, there's 90 lessons for first semester. And you know that first semester needs to be completed by January 18th. We'll take those 90 lessons and actually print out a calendar and write down what lessons are going to be completed each week so that by January 18th, you know your student is done with first semester science. That's always a good idea as well, because there may be times that a student may need to complete a second lesson. They may want to complete a second lesson. Like I said, if they're feeling sick and they don't feel good for a couple days, you can put off a couple lessons, but then know next week that, okay, we got to kind of catch back up here, because we want to make sure that we continue to move forward. So students do have access to Khan Academy and other resources to supplement the learning. Khan Academy is actually a free resource that are available to kids if you need help understanding a concept. I would highly encourage parents to utilize Khan Academy. As far as the schedule goes, please include breaks throughout the day. And like I said, Friday can always serve as a catch-up day or a work-ahead day. If the students want to work ahead, they're more than welcome to work ahead, because this is really kind of a self-paced thing. We do want them to continue to move forward, but we want them to kind of work at their pace as they work through the curriculum. So I'll give you an overview of SchoolsPLP. Like I said earlier, Lincoln Learning is the curriculum for the K2 core classes and all electives. So even if you're in 3 through 8, you're actually in a Lincoln Learning curriculum. It was built by Lincoln Learning. And then Bright Thinker is the manufacturer of the curriculum in the 3rd grade through 8th grade core. Students, when they go to log in, and I'll show you the website here in a minute, and that'll be included in the follow-up email tomorrow, the link to log in. Students can log in, however, they will not be able to work until the first day of school, and that is due to the pacing. Last year, I allowed people to get in to look at things early, and it messed up the pacing, and then people felt like they were behind. So this year, curriculum will start on the first day of school. However, you may not have your iPad, which means that you would start whenever you get your iPad, and we can adjust those start dates if you don't get your iPad until the 4th day of school. So we're more than happy to do that. We understand that you may not be able to work if you don't have your iPad. So, but we will make that accommodation as we move forward, because we know that some of the schools, some of the students in our schools have not been in school for a long time. And so the schools are making a priority to get kids back in the rhythm of what school means. And so iPad pickup may not be until that third or 4th day of school. So once you get your iPad, then there should be an expectation of starting to complete work. And you can work with your facilitator or myself to modify those start dates if we need to. So to log in, they're going to use their student ID number, which every student should be familiar with, except maybe not the kindergartners. Student ID number is the number, their lunch number. That's always a good one to ask them, is what's your lunch number? They seem to remember that one. So, and then their password this year is their birthday. Last year, it was their actual date, say 0809-2010. This year, DESE has required SchoolsPLP to increase the complexity of their password. So students' password this year is still their birthday, but this year it's the first 3 letters of the month, with the capital letter being the first one, then day, year. So for example, there you can see June 7th, 2010 is my son's birthday. So his password is JUN, capital J, 072010. So hopefully that'll be easy to remember. And as we get in, we'll talk about the daily activities. We'll talk about the latest activities. I'll show you the report card tab. The link, work on this course, is probably the most important link. So when you log in, to get started, a student has to click work on this course. It'll be one of the questions I get asked a lot is how do I get started? Because everybody wants to click on the name of the course, and there's a little link underneath it that says work on this course. And then the messages tab, what you'll see in the messages tab is that's how a teacher may communicate with you. Let's say you turn in an assignment and the assignment needs to be redone. They can send you a message through SchoolsPLP. And another thing that gets people caught up is any message that's sent to you, you have to acknowledge that you've read that message. It is a thing built into SchoolsPLP that you have to acknowledge that you've read that message before you can do any work. So every year, or several times last year, I would get a phone call or an email that they can't get off the messages tab, and it all had to do with you have to acknowledge the message, and I'll show you that as well when I get logged in here. So this is just a screenshot of the overview tab. When a student logs in, this is what they're going to kind of see. You'll see the 4 tabs up there at the top, and we'll talk about each of those, but you'll see their courses here, and here we have a 4th grade student, and they have, as you can see, a Science A class, and I don't have the B class on here, but in 3rd grade through 8th grade, you have an A class and a B class, which is essentially first semester and second semester. So when they get started, you'll see they'll want to start on the A classes, and you can see that link right under the name of the course where it says work on this course. That's the actual link that they're going to click on. The student logs in, they'll be able to see their grade there in the center of the screen, their current grade, and that gray bar underneath that shows kind of current pacing. So the light gray bar shows you the entire course. The dark gray bar shows you where the program believes that you should be, and the orange bar there shows you where the student currently is. So that kind of helps you with your pacing. So you don't want to get too far behind, but it gives you kind of a visual picture of where you're currently at. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the latest activity that the student has done in each of their courses. So it'll show even the time that things have been completed and so on. So you can see the send message link up there at the top. You can click on that and send a message to your teacher. This is the report card tab. So this is the 2nd tab up there, and this just shows each of your courses, your start date, end date, the progress. You can see it'll show you on here whether the program believes that you're on track or behind pace. It'll show you how many hours you've logged and how many activities you've completed and so on. I would caution you though, especially on the iPad, sometimes hours logged did not log 100% correctly. So I don't want you to jump in here and see that, say, 1 hour logged when you know your child has worked 2 or 3 hours in the program, and be upset with that, because that, and we don't monitor that. We monitor what activities the students have completed. So that's more important to us than hours logged, but that's the report card tab. This is the messages tab, and you can see when you log in, if you have a message, it will say you must acknowledge or reply to every message before you leave this tab. What you will find is you cannot click on any of the other tabs until you acknowledge that message. And I will show you how to do that when I log in here real quick. This is daily activity. This will just show you the daily activity for your child. And again, I would be cautious of minutes worked and those types of things, because especially on the iPads, it didn't seem to register quite as well as I had hoped the communication would between the iPad and SchoolsPLP. Seemed to work a little better on Windows devices or on laptops, but not on as well on the iPad. So I'll give you a little demo here. I'll jump out of my presentation real quick, and I'm going to jump over to SchoolsPLP, and this is the website, nkcschools.schoolsplp.com. And again, I will include that in the follow-up email that you'll get. It does work on any device, so the students can use their own computer. So if you have a personal computer at home, that may be better for you to use their computer, where you can look over their shoulder, see a larger monitor type thing, as opposed to their iPad. And again, their student login is going to be their student ID number, along with their birthday in the form of month, day, year. So let me real quick here jump out of this and get into SchoolsPLP. I did see a question there about a student with IEPs. We will be working closely with our special education department. Those teachers will have access to SchoolsPLP and be able to modify curriculum as needed. So all right, you should be able to see my Google Chrome here. Oops. And of course, my internet is not working on my Mac. All right, let's try that again. All right, so here's the SchoolsPLP login page. Again, students are going to log in with their 9 number. I have a demo account, which actually somebody asked if they could get in. I actually will probably share this demo account. This will allow you to get in and at least explore a little bit. You can't mess anything up because there's nothing in here that can be messed up. But you got to type the password in correctly. Okay. Once you get logged in, this is the messages tab that I talked about, which students will get stuck on. So if you look, I have a message here. I cannot click on the overview tab. I can't get out of anything. And I will tell you, I will get more phone calls about this and more emails about this than anything, is they feel like they're stuck. So SchoolsPLP actually this year put this big message up here that says you must acknowledge or reply to every message before leaving this tab. So your teacher, like I said, can communicate through this tab. To acknowledge this message, I click on the name of the person, and there's a button right here that says acknowledge you've read this message. And that's all you have to do, is acknowledge the message. You can reply to that message right through here. You can send a message back to the teacher up here in the right-hand corner. But once you acknowledge the message, now you can click on the Overview tab and get into your account. So again, this is a demo account. So I've got 3rd grade math, 4th grade science A. These are first semester. I've got a music course in here, 7th grade music, 2nd grade social studies, 6th grade art. So every student in SchoolsPLP in kindergarten through 6th grade will take math, science, social studies, ELA, and then art, music, and PE. There are a couple extra classes available in the middle school as far as electives, but in the kindergarten through 6th grade. So again, you've got the different tabs. You've got the report card tab that shows where you currently sit. The daily activity tab will show you what a student has been doing. On the overview tab, you'll see the latest activity here on the right. In the middle is where I talk about the pacing. So you'll see the gray bar, light gray bar is the full course pacing. This is where it believes I should be, and I am currently at 0% because I have done, you can see right here, 0 activities out of 80. So as you look each day, you can see, a student has completed 0 activities out of 80. And again, that's where you might take that calendar, take a 4-month calendar from August 23rd to January 18th and say, okay, there's 80 activities. We need to have them finished by January 18th. So we're going to do X activities a week and so on. And so you can see 4th grade science has 93 activities. Music has 285, but again, we're only asking you to do 1 lesson in music a week. So you will not complete all of these lesson activities in music. Social studies, again, there's 1,220. This is 2nd grade social studies. This is a year-long course for the kindergarten through 2nd grade. They're year-long courses. So, and then 6th grade art, again, you are only asked to do 1 art lesson a week. So you should only get through maybe half of those. But to work on a lesson, you're going to click on the Work on This Course link, and that's going to bring you in, and you'll see over here on the right-hand side are all the lessons that are going on. You can see Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in this particular. And Lesson 1 is modeling numbers. And so there's some reading and activities here. Select the boxes. Here's a small little quiz to check for understanding. And you go through that lesson. And at the bottom is when you would hit, well, once you answer the questions, then you're able to hit save and exit and submit. And then you go on to Lesson 2, Lesson 3, and so on. There's quizzes built into the system. When you're done with math, there are tools built in. You can turn on the highlighter if you want to highlight certain parts of a passage. So if you're reading through here and you want to highlight this because this is important, you can highlight. You can turn the answer eliminator on, so limit helps eliminate an answer or so. You can use a translator. There is a translator app built into, not built into this, but built into, it's an app on the iPad that you can get through self-service. And you can also use the speech or text-to-speech that is inherently built into the iPad. So you can highlight this. If you turn on text-to-speech, it'll actually can read to you. So if I want to go back and click on my name, I don't want to save any of those changes, and then I can work on the next course and so on and so forth. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, the curriculum is pre-built, so the lessons are already created in the system. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to your teacher facilitator. Somebody did ask when we would potentially find out who our teacher facilitator is. The teachers have all been given their class rosters yesterday, so they should be reaching out to you within the next day or two to set up a virtual Meet the Teacher night. So they will send you an invite very similar to the one you got here and set up a Meet the Teacher night so that they can put faces with names. So that gives you kind of an overview of SchoolsPLP. Some course specific stuff. So kindergarten through second grade, there are a lot of PDFs built into the curriculum, the Lincoln Learning curriculum. So North Kansas City School District has been nice enough to actually print those PDFs off for you. Our print shop here at Central Office has printed those, and they have been sent to your home school. So if you're in kindergarten through second grade, you can, when you pick up your iPad especially, you can pick up your printed packets for ELA, math, science, and social studies. And then you don't have to use your printer to print off a whole bunch of those worksheets that are built into. In third grade, ELA is the only one that has a printed packet, and will be available at your school. And then in fourth grade, social studies is the only one that has a printed packet. Once you get into the Bright Thinker curriculum, there are very, very few of those PDF type worksheets built into the curriculum, so there's no need to create a packet. But kindergarten through second grade, you definitely want to pick those up. ELA books. When you get into ELA, you will see several books mentioned throughout the curriculum. I have gone through and downloaded and provided all of those books. So those books are available inside of the curriculum. So I can't think of the name of one of them off the top of my head, but those books are available. If they're mentioned in the curriculum, they are available within the curriculum. So you don't have to go find a book at the local library and those types of things. If it does, in some of the curriculum, it does talk about doing a reading log where the child is reading 20 minutes a day. If you need reading books, of course, you always have your local library, and Angie Wiegers is going to talk about resources that are available to you from your school. But there is also the EPIC app, which is kind of a K-5 book service that is available through the self-service app on your student's iPad. So self-service is essentially an app that the school district provides and pushes to the iPad, and it has like district sponsored and district paid for applications. So EPIC is one of those. Libby is another one that is available through self-service, and it is a reading book app as well. So, and it is available more geared towards kindergarten through 8th grade. So if your student needs a reading book, again, you don't have to go to the library. You don't have to necessarily buy a book. They should be able to find something to read through one of those two apps. In the math courses, it will ask you to do some manipulatives, and within the course resources, there is a link to some digital manipulatives that are available online. So you can click on that link, it'll pop you out to a digital manipulative webpage, and you can do the activity right there online. You don't have to necessarily have all these manipulatives available to you. So a lot of the things can be used with, like, beads or buttons or marbles and those types of things when you're talking about manipulatives also. So I mentioned the Google Translate app. If you need to translate something into a different language, that Translate app is available in self-service. And again, you can highlight the text and it will translate it to a different language. And one of the things that I want to stress the most is that last year, parents got a little frustrated with the fact that it may say, PE, you need to go jump rope. And a teacher didn't have a jump rope, or a parent didn't have a jump rope, or it would say, go play Frisbee or something like that. And a parent didn't have a Frisbee. There are going to be those situations throughout the curriculum, which it may ask for you to do something that you don't have. Art, it may ask you to paint a picture. What we want you to know as parents and as students is that alternatives will always be accepted. So if it says paint a picture and you color a picture or draw a picture, 100% accepted. If it says jump rope and you don't have a jump rope and you do an alternative activity, you go walk for 20 minutes or do jumping jacks or something like that, those alternatives will always be accepted because we know that that can be a frustration for parents if it says, oh, you need this specific thing to do this activity. So if you don't have them, feel free to submit alternatives and they will be accepted. So supplies, and again, I'll include this in the list in the email that I send out as a follow-up tomorrow. These are just some suggested supplies that you might want to have on hand. Like I said, most of them are like crayons, a dice, drawing paper, markers, highlighters, things that you probably have around the house if you're like me, it'd be in a junk drawer. So you can see kind of separated them out as far as supplies go, just different suggestions that you might want to have on hand as students get ready to work through the curriculum. Expectations for teacher interaction. So as I mentioned kind of at the beginning, for those of you that have done this last year, this will be same process. Your teacher facilitator will set up a Teams link. They'll send you a Teams link and time for a meeting with individual and maybe small group conferences for a 30 to 45-minute check-in each week. So the teacher will set up a virtual conference, meet with the student, just kind of check in, see how things are going, make sure you're on pace, make sure you're working through the curriculum. If there are any problems that pop up, they can help answer those problems or point them to me so that I can help answer questions. If you are unable to show up for that particular conference at that particular time, then the teacher will review work through the system, provide written feedback in place of that live conference for that particular week. Accessibility to the teacher expectations is that they would return calls and emails within 24 hours. Keep in mind that these teachers are teaching face-to-face also, so they have a full schedule from full 7-hour schedule with students. So getting that 24-hour turnaround, it may take 24 hours, but if you're running into any problems, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. There does need to be a designated adult at home that would have direct involvement with the child's learning throughout the day to assist the child through the day, through lessons, making sure that they understand concepts, those types of things. And again, like I said earlier, you should be receiving communication from your facilitator in the next day or two about a virtual meet the teacher night, which should happen this week. I do believe they have back to school nights on Thursday, so meet the teacher virtually will probably be Wednesday or Friday for most teachers. So these are just some examples on how to be a successful learning coach, which is essentially the parent or family member that's in the home with the child, assisting when it comes to lessons and assignments, assisting with teaching the lesson to the child if they can't understand, comprehend the lesson, create that daily or weekly learning schedule. Like I mentioned earlier, I showed you that sample. Check out upcoming lessons for what might be required of the student. Communicate with that learning facilitator. If you're having problems struggling through a concept, communicate with that facilitator. We have some really, really good facilitators that are available to you. So middle school level, things get a little bit where the parent can step back a little bit, allow the student to work through most of the work themselves and let them work independently. But of course, we want you to verify assignment submission, check their grades, make sure that they are keeping on track with pacing, monitor the comprehension, and so on and so forth. Again, set that daily learning schedule so that they know what needs to be completed on a daily basis. And again, communicate with that learning facilitator on whether a student is struggling, not working, etc. And we will do our best to find the assistance for you that we can. So I think Angie Wiegers is on here, so I will turn it over to her. Again, she's our coordinator for Library Media Specialists, and she wants to talk to you about some resources that are available to our virtual kids.
Hey, I'm not going to take up a bunch of your time. I just want to talk about 3 really nice resources that we have for your students. The first one is Destiny. It's our online catalog, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat, and it has ways for you to access all of these resources that I'm talking about. Within Destiny on the homepage, there are a ton of links for whichever school is your home school. So there are research links there. Libby is located there, and Libby can be used K-12. So it's got a really nice YA area as well for those kids who are really looking for something to read online. We also have Learn 360, which is educational streaming. It's fantastic. So if your students are really looking for pieces of information for a subject that maybe they didn't understand, Learn 360 is a great place to go to get more information. And all of those videos have been vetted. They are commercial free, and they are educational again. And then we have MCPL, which is our regional library, and all of our students in district have a digital card unless parents have opted them out in registration. So again, in the link that I'm going to post, it has information about how to get to that. But what's great about MCPL is they also have lots of places to go to get online books, ebooks, audiobooks, as well as streaming video. There's journals and magazines and books and movies that they could use as well to help them. Also within MCPL is tutor.com. So if your student is not understanding how to do that really difficult calculus math problem or write that paper, they can contact tutor.com through MCPL. They're open 10 a.m. to midnight, Monday through Friday, and they walk them through how to do certain things for the core subject areas. Okay, so just if you want to look through that presentation that I'm going to drop, and then you guys, if you have any questions, I'm going to put my information on there as well. You're more than welcome to contact me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Angie. I will include that. I'll grab that link from the chat and include that in the follow-up email tomorrow so that you have that at your fingertips as well. So lots of good resources available to our students to take advantage of. So with that, I want to thank everybody for their time. I know we're about 50 minutes in, so I want to be mindful of your time. I know I may not have answered all the questions that are popping up in the chat, but like I said, I will grab those questions. pull them down, and I will go through them tomorrow and answer them and in that follow-up email. So there will be an attachment with frequently asked questions from this chat and